Hi, this is Glenn. Welcome to Art 490 Week 1. Here we are on Canvas. We've got a few menu choices, home, announcements, assignments, etc. I'm here on the syllabus tab, which I kind of like because it has a link to our syllabus, which takes you over to the class website where all the info actually is. And then it also has the course summary, so week by week, everything we're doing. So for most of the semester, it's 2 things a week. Do some activity and then read a chapter in our book, Why You, Why Me, Why Now, which is really a terrific book. It just came out a couple months ago, and it's all about all of the things that you're grappling with or will be grappling with soon. Writing resumes, cover letters, interviews, all these different things that, whether you're looking for a gallery career, looking to get hired in a commercial career, looking for commissions or clients, whatever your career goals might be, these chapters are going to be really great. So each week we're going to read a chapter. They're short, they're easy, quick read, so it shouldn't be any big deal. So we'll read and discuss, and then we're going to do something to build our portfolio. So week 1 is we're going to launch our website. We're going to grab a portfolio platform like Squarespace, Wix, WordPress, or whatever you like in week 1 and put it up so that for the rest of the semester, all the work that we do can go on the website. So we're just going to post URLs on Canvas. You'll see that in a minute. But we're going to be building always the website. Anything you do, if you write an artist statement, you're not going to write it on Canvas. You're going to write it on your website, and then you just put a link to that statement on Canvas. So let's dive in. If you click here, you go see the syllabus, but we'll click here and just start with the website. So the activity is this week, pick a portfolio platform and a domain name like glennzuckman.com, something like that. So here a page that talks about platforms. Here's a page that talks about domain names. And here's a page that has a bunch of website tutorials, which you don't really need this week because I'm not asking you to post any content. I'm only asking you to grab a website, grab your personal domain name, glennzuckman.com, yours obviously, not mine, and then just publish it, but you don't have to upload any content. Just publish it so it's live, and then we'll be adding as we go. So let's click on this link to check out our platform options. Because there are so many, well, let me show you the website before I dive into platforms. So here we are, Fall 24 syllabus is a couple minutes worth of reading. I won't do that right now because I don't want this to be a long video, but please do read it. It will help you understand everything we're doing this semester and what our goals are. And then here, syllabus, this is a link straight to Zoom for each weekly Zoom meeting. And then in another week or 2, we'll start having some one-to-one meetups. This is to schedule those. And then eventually, we'll get to the final at the end of the semester. For the weekly activities, we have this schedule list. So this week is choose a platform, choose a domain name. Next week, we're going to set career goals. Weeks 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, we're going to make new work. I'll talk more about that later. And so on through the semester. And then this next column, bonus activities. So I know when you look at this list of all the things we have to do this semester, it probably looks like a lot. I don't think it is, actually. I think it's pretty doable, but I appreciate that it might look like a lot. But believe it or not, we used to have twice as much to do, and I realized it was just too much. So I took half of the assignments out, and I put them over here under bonus, meaning that they're not assignments for us this semester, but they are really worth doing. So if you can come up with a little extra time and do these, it would be great, or maybe you'll do them next semester or in the future. The first 3 are people. They're kind of motivational stories I've written. I hope they're of value to you. And then here are some of the things that we've done in the past and are, again, worth doing, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to focus on this semester. Accountability partners, 5-year plans, super valuable. A welcome video really makes your site more relatable. It's a great thing to have, just a little 30, 60-second video. Embedding stuff like welcome videos. Case studies, again, super valuable. Testimonials, you might not have any right now, but you can try to get them over time, very valuable. Social media, very powerful, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so let's head over to week 1, choose a platform. there are so many choices, and you can use anything you want. It's completely up to you. There are so many, it's overwhelming. So to simplify things, here's what most students have done in the past. Almost half the class chooses Wix, almost half the class chooses Squarespace, maybe 10% of the class uses WordPress, and all other choices is like 2% of the class. So for most people, it's going to be Squarespace or Wix, but you may use anything. If you're a writer type, kind of like art historian, museum communications, art reviewer, art writer, grant writer, art educator, you might want to look at Substack or Quire or Medium or WordPress. Those might be a little more suited to you. And if you're a tech type, if you're into art and technology, if you do some coding and so on, then Jekyll or Dreamweaver might be a better fit for you. If you want to know what platform someone used for a website, you can take the address of any website, famousartist.com, and punch it in here at built with, and it'll tell you what they used. If you want to know what platforms are in use, you can go to this website, w3text.com, and it will list hundreds of different platforms and what market share they have for all the websites in the world. And then here's a list of many more choices. I kind of grouped them. These are portfolio focused. These are kind of website focused. These are content management systems. These are open source tools. These are proprietary tools. And besides all these things I've listed here, there are many, many more. Again, you can use anything. Whatever floats your boat is great. But most people, it's probably Wix, Squarespace, maybe WordPress. So pick something, and then we can move on to the next item, which is choosing a domain name. So I am asking you to actually buy a domain name. It should be, your website should be justintimberlake.com, not justintimberlake.wix.com. So to do that, depending on Squarespace, Wix, WordPress, student discount, etc., that will cost you between $48 and $96 for a year. And then the only other cost this semester is our book, which is $16. And that's it. So it's as cheap as I can make the course, but I think it's really important to have a professional URL. It's not me.wordpress.com, it's justintimberlake.com. Okay, so please do get your own domain name, and then there's lots of information on this page. Most of us will just grab a domain name like glennzuckman.com and be done with it. But in fact, there are all kinds of things you can do with that domain name. You can have branded email and many other things. Here are the parts of a URL. This isn't too critical for most of us, but when you buy a domain name, you can create subdomains, subdirectories, all kinds of things for different uses. Won't apply to most of us, but those are possibilities. The one thing to note is that the .com part is called the TLD, the top level domain. So if you have a uncommon name like Glenn Zuckman, then you can just buy glennzuckman.com and you're good to go. If you have a more common name like Jennifer Nguyen, then jennifernguyen.com is probably going to be taken. So you might need to do something else. You could add a middle initial, you could add a number, or you could still just stick with your name, Glenn Zuckman, but instead of .com, you could use a different TLD, a different top-level domain, like .me, .info, etc. It turns out there's thousands of choices. So there are country codes. So every country in the world, 248 of them, more even than the UN recognizes, has a country code. The United States is .us, the United Kingdom is .uk, Canada is .ca, Laos is .la, Tuvalu is .tv, and for most of these country codes, you do not have to be from the country. You can just buy that TLD. In addition to the country codes, there are thousands of others. There's like .plumbing, .ninja, .sucks, .rocks. It goes on forever. So here's a list of a few that are relevant for arts folks. .actor, .art, .audio, .band, .book, .cam, .camera, .dance, .design, .digital. The list goes on and on and on. .tattoo, etc. There's also color names, .black, .blue, .xyz. And then if you want to see the gigantic list, here's ICANN, the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. Here's their huge mega list. It's a little bit ugly. Here's the Wikipedia slightly prettier list. So if you're Taylor Swift and taylorswift.com is already taken, then you could be taylorswift.red or taylorswift.music or taylorswift.tv, etc. You can use any name you want. I'm just asking you to buy a custom professional name and not be me.wix. It doesn't have to be your name. It's completely up to you, but I do encourage you to use your own name. I think the clever internet handles, they have a way of becoming a little bit tedious or embarrassing as the years go by. And I think the safest, most solid thing for most of us most of the time is just your name, glennzuckman.com or glennzuckman.art or glennzuckman.info. That's my recommendation, but it's up to you. So grab a platform like WordPress, glennzuckman.com, whatever your choice is. Hit publish. Again, you don't have to post any content, just hit publish. Then come back to Canvas, and you'll notice there is not a text box for you to type words in. There's just a URL box. Except for the discussions, which we'll actually do on Canvas, all of the weekly things we do there's never going to be a text box. It's always just going to be a URL box. So when you write an artist statement, you're not going to write the artist statement on Canvas. You're going to write it straight on your website, and then you'll just, in the URL box, you'll just put the URL of where you've put your artist statement. When you make new work, we'll talk about that in week 3, but when you start making new work to fill out your portfolio, you'll make the new piece, you'll put it straight up on your portfolio, and then you'll put a link to that page on your portfolio, page on your website in the URL box. So that's it. You've grabbed a platform and a URL, and you've clicked the publish button so it can be seen live online, and then you've published that pasted that URL here and click submit. Good to go. Now the only other thing is discussion. So read for week 1, we read chapter 1 in week 2, but for week 1 we read the introduction of the book. And there's nothing here yet because we haven't obviously started. I'm recording this over the weekend, but you can hit reply and type your comment. You can make one or more new comments, or you can also reply to comments that classmates have left. 2 things I would really encourage you to do with this. One is, we mostly, obviously we understand what being a student is about. So most of us are going to come here. We're gonna grab the book and we're gonna skim the chapter quickly on Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening or late Sunday night, and then we're gonna dash over here and type out 1 or 2 random semi-meaningless sentences. It's like, okay, I typed something, I can move on. I really hope I can convince you that nothing in this class, including reading this book, is busy work. None of it is hoops for you to jump through. None of it is to make Glenn happy. Everything we're doing, this class is, I hope, 100% designed purely to help you build whatever career you want to build. And I think this book is super valuable. So when you just skim a chapter and then type 2 meaningless sentences Sunday night, it's kind of a waste of time. If you can manage to do it in the middle of the week, the beginning of the week, sometime earlier, actually read the chapter. They're short, they're easy reads, they're super relevant, I think, for actually getting into the world and connecting to people and getting your work seen and getting exhibited in galleries, hired by companies, commissioned to make pieces, finding clients for work you want to do, etc. Get here earlier in the week and type something substantial and reply to what classmates have said. And I also want to encourage you not to just comment on the book, oh, the book said this or that, but to whatever you read, whatever it makes you think about, connect that to your own situation. Resumes, oh, I'm so terrified of resumes, I don't think I have a single thing to list on my resume. If you say something like that, believe me, you won't be alone. That will be true of lots of us, but we can all discuss it and offer suggestions, encourage each other, etc. So discussing these book chapters can be really powerful if we actually read them and post comments early or middle of the week. If we just skim the thing at 11:30 on Sunday night and then type a sentence, then it is just jumping through hoops. So I hope it doesn't become that. Anyway, that's it for week 1. I will see you on Zoom. Good luck. If any of this is confusing in any way, just shoot me an email and I'm happy to explain by email, or we can jump on Zoom and talk stuff out. Have a great week. excited to meet you, excited to help build whatever career and portfolio you want to build. Good luck.